presenting these films tonight. What you're going to see is a kind of strange road movie through time and space. So there's material I filmed 20 years ago, and then I built another story together with it. And it's not a film about Neubauten. It's with Neubauten, but it's more a film about a certain moment when Germany changed very much, and I tried to spot this moment, to fix, and to try to how do you say, try to reflect it. You know? So anyway, I think I can tell you much more afterwards, and perhaps you have some questions afterwards. I'll be here, so don't run out very early. And I'm sure there's a lot to talk. Thank you, and enjoy the film. Thank you.
Kein Problem.
Gib Stoff und bratter durch!
Jetzt ein Coca-Cola. Fanta Mango. Ja, relativ einfach.
Eigentlich war es noch nicht vorbei. Also die Zeit war noch zu kurz, um zu sagen, ja, das war das Ende der DDR.
Das Brandenburger Tor war noch zu. Da wurde jeden Abend darauf gewartet, dass es nur aufgemacht wird, so als symbolischer Akt.
Ja, die Einstürze in Neubauten waren zu der Zeit ein Mythos sozusagen.
Man darf nicht vergessen, dass das Blixer Bargeld war ein Halbgott, mehr oder weniger.
Zum Konzert.
War auch nicht dabei, als Heiner Blixer kennengelernt.
Das letzte Biest am Himmel, ich bin das letzte Biest am Himmel. Ich bin das letzte Biest am Himmel, ich bin das letzte Biest.
Wir haben alle so schöne Umschläge. Hey, wo ist der Ausweis von Hacke? Ah, hier ist er. Wo ist Hacke? Nur die Ausweis. Dieser. Jetzt hast du
I'm starting to tell a little bit about this. I mean, what is probably weird, because this material, sometimes I always was with my camera around these bands and stuff like that. And at that time, it was the same year. For me, it's really funny because after this film plays the other film, which I did in the same year, the Nikkei film. And So I did the Nikkei film, and then, okay, I started because I heard they're gonna play their first concert in East Germany. So I was very curious, so I went with my camera with them. The VHS was big like that at that time. And then the whole thing got completely like, it developed. I thought it's, okay, we travel a little bit to, it's just a neighborhood. I mean, nowadays you can't imagine anymore that Berlin, that you had to make this incredible travel. And when we did it, and then came the story with Heiner Müller and the French delegation and all this kind of really weird stuff. And so I had the material, but I never used it because of the Nikkei film. I was really afraid that we're gonna have two films about bands, and that because that was really my beginning of making films. I was quite young, and I was afraid that from that moment on I'm going to do music films forever or something. So I thought, oh, I keep this, and I kept it, and because the Nikkei film came out, and then I never looked at it anymore because VHS. Probably you're all too young to remember what that is. It's a kind of format which was like that, and somebody told me if you look at it after certain years, it's going to fall apart or something. So in my mind, I always had this memory that it was a very special trip, but very weird. But I didn't know what I was filming, and I thought I'm not looking at it, so I kept it with my packages. So I never looked at it. And last year or 2 years ago, there was this 20 years of the wall came down. So I thought it's very important that everybody tells his story about this certain special time in Berlin. And so I gave it to a really expensive studio to transfer it on digital, so I could look at it. And then I was so happy because, I mean, still when I see this old material, that I was so, I'm not filming the concert. I mean, there is material of the concert, but basically there's so much other things like this traveling, the border thing. I mean, there's this moment when they come off stage. I mean, everybody else would have waited till they pass the door, but I'm filming the military guy. And I mean, what a weird idea. As a camera, I would have killed my cameraman if he would have done that. But now I think, because already at that time I was so much more interested in the side part of this trip. And what occurred to me then when I saw it, and I remembered that the weird thing was that at that time there was no contact. I mean, there was a contact between the audience and us from West Germany, from West Berlin. Basically, it was really like the wall was still there. They looked at us like, also like aliens or something. They knew the music, like the film told, but they had no idea at that time. Neubauten wasn't on TV or something. I mean, there was no MTV or anything. So they had no idea how the appearance of the band is. They had their imagination of the band out of the music. And that I thought was very interesting because all my films are working with the imaginary in a way. So that's why I thought 20 years after it's a good moment to do this archaic ritual, to walk together again to this place, and that's what we did. Do you have questions? I mean, it must be weird, because for me, it's I'm in Berlin at that time already for Germans, if I passed it in the Berlinale, or if we had it in the cinemas as a young audience, and they couldn't understand the time at all. I mean, so for you it must be even more weird to see this special moment of Germany, which probably must occur question. Do you have a question, Vasily? Do you have a question? No, but you can ask me questions, and then they can ask me questions. Well, you must know on Monday we had a pre-view of this film, and then he was talking all the time. He was asking hundreds of questions, and and then the audience got into it. But I think he asked them all, and
Δεν ξέρω, το Βερολίνο είναι ένας πολύ δημοφιλής τόπος αυτή την εποχή στην Ελλάδα.
Can we talk in English? Do you understand
Berlin
English?
is a very popular place these times in Greece. Not only touristic because it's a very cheap place to visit, etc. But as well as because of the crisis, too many young people they are thinking of going to Berlin and start artistic or anything. They think they have for sure that there are so many potentials for them there, while things in Greece they are incredibly poor. There are no ways opening ahead. So, what do you think? Is it that easy in Berlin as the Greek new artists or potential artists think it is?
I don't know. How could I know? That's really not a good question for this film. It was never easy to come to Berlin and make your thing and make money. In Berlin, we as artists, we mostly make our money. Even Einstürzen-Neubau make their money outside of Berlin. And there are so many artists coming to Berlin, which is kind of, which is fascinating and makes the city very magic. But I don't know if you can, you get all these influences, so you can work, and that's the good thing about Berlin at the moment. That's probably what it makes so interesting, because you get a lot of creativity out of these different people from wherever they come from. And I did a film on that called Berlin Song, which passes this week as well. So several musicians coming from different countries, and they tell a little bit, they show the places which is their closest place to their heart, and make a song about Berlin, and tell a little bit why they came there and what they found or what they're looking for. So this is basically the film, that's the other film, the best answer to this question.